Hi everyone, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here with another PB&J card class. This is number 6 in a series of 8 videos called Sketch School, where I am revisiting sketches from previous videos and ebooks and using them with new Penny Black Christmas themed goodies, and also sharing how I make sketches work for me and how I continue to refer back to them and use them more than just one time. So in today's sketch, I am going to be using lots and lots of die cuts. So if you're looking for a way to get out your Christmas dies, grab from your stash or grab from new, this is the video for you. So here's the original sketch, sort of a postcard design with some stamping on the left and the sentiment added where like you would be writing the address. So what I'm going to do with this sketch is totally rotate it, except for one of the cards, but I'm going to rotate this so it is in a vertical orientation, and I'm going to use with dies instead of stamps. And on one of the cards I'm even going to add a frame. So just to mention again, if you love card sketches and card ideas and variations on sketches, I do have 3 ebooks that are available, and I will list and link those down below. They also have a video series for each ebook, and I'll list those playlists for you down below too. Love to have you check them out. So I do like to prep ahead of time. It's a great way to mass produce cards. So I have my card bases cut from Bristol smooth paper, and then I went through my stash of Christmas dies and picked out some favorites, and I went ahead and cut them from Canson 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. I store my dies inside of just regular old envelopes from Walmart, and so once I cut these, I just put them back into that envelope, or you could put them in a separate envelope altogether. But I didn't know how many I was going to use, so I just put them back into their storage envelope and kept those all together. So I'm just showing you here what I have sort of done in advance. I just sat down and had a die cutting session and cut a whole bunch of those dies. And then I'll just take all of that and put them into one envelope that has the sketch on there. So if you have the ebooks, you can print those little sketches and you could shrink them down and add them to your envelope if you wanted. So here I have my Distress Ink Reinkers used as watercolors. I've got them on my palette, got some water and my paper towel, and I'm just going to paint my die cuts. So you could do this any way you wanted. You could cut them from colored cardstock. You could cut them and color them with Copics, or even add some colored pencil details, or ink them using like Distress inks with the ink applicator tool and a foam pad. But I just love painting, and if you want a watercolor look to your cards but you want it kind of quickly, or you want just some practice with your inks, maybe you're new to watercoloring, watercolor your die cuts. It's so forgiving. You can always ink over the top if you don't like how it turned out. You don't have to stay in the lines hardly at all. And I just think it's a really fun, fast way to do it. And I also love that with this, I can cut everything from my white watercolor paper ahead of time and then just sit down and paint later. So I'm just painting in this beautiful ornament. This is Adorn. And I will list and link for you all of the Penny Black stamps and dies and everything stick and shine that I'll be using down in the YouTube description box below, so they'll be listed and linked. I also will have a section called Other Supplies where I'll list all the colors that I'm using, all of my other supplies, ink pads, paintbrush, everything will be listed for you down there. So if you have a question about something, check out that YouTube description box below. I've tried to put everything there for you. Here I'm just painting these holly leaves to sort of layer with my ornament. And I just have them on a little piece of tape there to keep them still. So if you have little die cut pieces, take a piece of like masking tape, dab it on if you have a sweater or something, and then you can put your die cuts right on there. If you dab it on your sweater first, it'll just be easier to remove them later. I'm just layering up my different colors, same way I would basically paint an image, only it's just much easier when it's a die cut piece. And I'll link a video for you down below with more detail about my watercoloring process in case you're interested. Now I did want to brighten these up a little bit, so I am taking some Mowed Lawn Distress ink and just lightly applying that using an ink blending tool and a foam pad, and then even just a little touch of gathered twigs up at the top. And look at how bright and bold and dynamic those are. I'm going to add a little bit of that gathered twigs at the top up here. Now these are totally dry, and just a little bit around the edges. It's another way to give that sort of a shaded look. Now this is that Bristol smooth paper, and I'm using this because I'm going to be using our Stick and Shine sentiment set, and that works beautifully, especially on a really smooth paper like this. So I'm going to do some ink blending on the background, and I'm just starting off of the edge and working my way on in a circular motion, layering up a couple of different blues here. And I want most of the color to be up towards the top of the card, sort of fading down into a lighter bottom of the card. Now, as I was creating these, now here I'm just adding a little bit of Memento Toffee Crunch, just kind of tone everything down, give it a little vintage look. But as I was creating these, what I did is I did all my die cutting, then I painted all my die cuts, and then I did all of my backgrounds like this. So you can really mass produce cards quickly without getting bored. Now this is our vintage postcard stamp. So this is that inspiration from that sketch, but you can see we've turned things. So I'm stamping that, and I am added stamping some other postage elements up here just to layer that up. Really fun to do. And again, all those are listed for you down below in the background stamping section. And now I'm ready to add my sentiment. So this is from our Stick and Shine sentiments. This is the Shimmering Piece set. And these are basically like a sticky rub-on. So I'm just pressing that onto my card using the applicator tool. You could use your fingers or an old credit card. And then I'm going to take our foil and lay that on top and just press that with that applicator tool. Again, you could use your fingers or like an old gift card or credit card. And instantly you have a foiled sentiment. And to me, with these cards, that is like that extra touch, makes the sketch feel fresh and new, and was just so fun to do. Now, if you want to hear more about our Stick and Shine, I'll also link a video down below that's just about Stick and Shine, but it's a beautiful sentiment set. You'll see some more coming up here. Now, I didn't want this ornament to be sort of like see-through in those holes, so I'm just gluing it onto an extra piece of white cardstock and then trimming around the edges so it's backed with white, which you can see there. I'm going to pop this up on my card. I also stamped a little secondary sentiment on the by that word joy, and here I'm just using some May Arts twine to sort of hang the ornament off the top, taping it onto the back. And then I'll start adding those leaves that I painted. And I'll pop those up with some foam tape. And then I'm also going to just tie a bow and glue that onto the top up there. And I love that little touch. Now, whenever I'm making cards, I work on just a flat panel of paper. So this is a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, but you can see like I taped onto the back. Then this can be added to an actual note card just with double-sided tape once everything is complete. And that's how I do all my cards. I just work on that panel and then I can add it to a note card later. So here are all of the different ones. That's the one we just made in the video. I also added a little bit of text background stamping too. You can see there it's really subtle on the background. Here is another, again following that same design, just switching up the die cut and the color scheme. That's another one of the sentiments from the Shimmering Piece set. So is this one. I love that lantern. It's our glowing die cut. So perfect with that bright holiday wishes. Now here I've returned back to the original sketch design, but switched up where the focal point image and the sentiment is. That's got some beautiful red foiling on it there, just catching the light with that in the video. And here I've kept with that original design, but I actually framed it. This is with our layered frame die, only I used only one of the frames and I did a stamped sentiment on there. So here are still shots of all of these cards, a great way to get into your stash of Christmas dies, have some fun with some foiled sentiments, and just enjoy this sketch and give it a totally different look, but keeping with that original inspiration. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think my favorite card is the one with the lantern on it, the bright holiday wishes. I'd love to know what your favorite is. Leave a comment down below, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Ring the bell notification so you are notified when the next video in this series goes up. And I thank you so much for all of your kind words and for watching.